So by now you have finished creating your multi-stage rocket, which is quite an achievement in itself. So we're going to create a PowerPoint that's going to document your travel into space from Kerbin. So I'm going to show you my PowerPoint, which you can use sort of as a template. You should have all the aspects that I have on my PowerPoint, and it should look nice. So first thing I did is I went to the internet and I found a PowerPoint theme that centered around space. So I went to Google and literally typed in space theme PowerPoint. And I found one I liked, and I used it. You can find these sort of all over the internet, but one place that you can definitely find them is on the Microsoft Office website, because Microsoft is obviously the company that makes PowerPoint. This template actually didn't end up being that great. I didn't realize till I was finished that although you can see it's got a nice background on the first slide, and it's got these nice banners on the other slides, but they just sort of stopped around slide 4, and I'm not sure why that is. But if I were going to turn this in for a grade, I would definitely go back and figure out what's going on, or possibly even change the theme to make sure that it did not just stop and give me white slides. But for the sake of time, I'm going to push forward, and you're going to pretend like you can see the theme on all the slides. The first slide obviously is just sort of a introduction. It tells what this assignment is. It gives my name and the date. Got a nice pretty picture. Moving on, I had a slide about my fearless Kerbinaut, Bill Kerman. I grabbed his picture from KSP, and I created some fictional information, a biography for my Kerbinaut. You should do the same thing, have at least 3 bullet points about your Kerbinaut. Maybe it's Jebediah, maybe it's one of the other ones, but that's your first non-title slide. Here is our third slide. This is on the Launchpad where you'll describe the various pieces of your rocket. Let me point out real quickly, in case it's been a while since you've made a PowerPoint, that up here at Layout, this is where you decide what the slide actually looks like. For this one, I use what's usually called the title slide. It's actually in Spanish right now because this template was a Spanish template, but you get the idea. So this title slide has one big area for a picture and something up top for the title. A lot of the slides I'm going to end up using this one, which is like cool, like dual pane, where I have 2 pieces of information, usually a picture on one side and some writing on the other, as well as a title. But you might find at some point that other layouts work better for you. So I have used the title one with one pane of information with my picture. I've gone to Insert, and you can either go to Shapes to find the arrows, or actually back on my home tab, I actually had some ones that I use often right over here. So I drew arrows. I made sure that they stuck out, so I made them white, and I inserted some text boxes to describe the main parts of my rocket, and you should do the same. My next slide is I'm leaving Kerbin, and I took a screenshot as I disengaged my boosters. Now I'm doing this by pressing the print screen while I'm playing the game, and as soon as I press the print screen button, I pause the game by pressing escape, and then I came over to my PowerPoint to paste the picture. If I press print screen once, then press it again, I'm going to lose the first picture I took. It only saves one onto the clipboard at a time. So you have to pause the game, come to your PowerPoint, and paste it on there quickly. If you double click on a picture, you bring up the picture options, the most important of which is the crop option, which will allow you to crop out the things that I don't want to see. So I don't want to see Microsoft Windows buttons down here. I don't want to see your computer desktop behind the picture. I just want to see the picture and the important parts of the picture. Sure. So this is my stage 5 separation where I knocked off the boosters. I explain what's happening here. You can say something similar, although not exactly what I say, something similar. I go to stage 4 separation. I have used the mouse to get a nice view of the planet as I separated this time. I once again explained how and why I'm separating pieces of the rocket. On to slide 6. This time, since I've already sort of explained the decoupling process, I just had a picture as I decoupled the last engine from the rocket. My next slide, I used the M key while I was in Kerbal Space Program to bring up the map mode and take a picture of my flight path. And I have put on here the apoapsis, which is the furthest point I'm going to get from Kerbin. and I listed it down here in both meters and kilometers. You've probably learned how to do this in math or science class, but in case you didn't notice, to go from meters to kilometers, I really just had to multiply by 1,000 and sort of take the decimal place from right here, 3 spots forward to right there. Because kilometers, kilo means 1,000 meters, so every 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. My next slide was my last separation, where I dropped off the last piece. Actually, I guess I've already had that one. I guess I put that in there twice. My bad. So you only actually need that one. You only really need that one once. I put it in there twice without thinking. So I'm just going to click this one and press delete. I had a slide for reentry. So as I passed my apoapsis and came back into the atmosphere, we begin to get these flames, and I explained why that's happening. Once again, you can say something similar, but not exact. I have the next slide once I've deployed my parachute, but it's not fully open yet. This slide when the parachute is fully deployed. I explain the speed I'm trying to reach. My last slide is I've called EVA for extravehicular. What does that stand for? I believe it's extravehicular activity. So extravehicular means I'm outside the vehicle, and that's easy to do once you've actually landed, or really when you're in space. If you click on the little picture of your Kerbonaut, one of the options will be EVA. When you do that, he'll actually pop out, and you can press the space bar to let go of the space capsule, and then you can actually walk around. He actually has a little jetpack too, so you can fly around some. If you click on him when he's outside the vehicle, one of the options is plant flag. So I planted the flag, changed the camera, got a nice little angle, and snapped my last picture. At the top left-hand side of the screen, you can see that it tells me how long I have been, the mission has lasted, and that's 54 minutes. So I included that information as well. And I am done with my PowerPoint. Not very hard at all. It's possible that you might not get all the pictures on the first time you try, so you might have to have a couple of launches to get everything you need, and that's fine. But you should be turning in a finished PowerPoint with, it looks like, at least 11 slides. I would save it as, let's save this into your S drive. In your tech folder. I would call this KSP for Kerbal Space Program underscore, let's say, staging, and then my last name, Eames, and that's how I would turn it in. Remember, I won't grade it if it's not named in that format. So congratulations on making a multi-stage rocket. The next thing we're going to do is learn how to put a spacecraft in orbit around Kerbin.